Intel point captured. Great work. You've earned a peek at the next gas spread. Enemy soldier incoming.
Chapter 4. Embers of Memory. The fire was small and smokeless, more a flicker than a flame, nestled in a hollow of stone where the wind couldn't touch it. Lyra crouched beside it, turning a flatbread over a heated rock. The scent of herbs and ash filled the air. Cale sat opposite her, wrapped in a borrowed cloak, every muscle aching. He hadn't spoken much since the flight through the woods. Not because he lacked questions, but because he was afraid of the answers. The voice in his head had gone quiet. For now. Lyra passed him a hunk of the warm bread. "Eat. You'll need it." He took it, chewing in silence. It tasted better than anything had a right to in a place like this. Finally, he spoke. "The man I saw in the vision. You said his name was Aaron Vey." Lyra nodded. "The last sentinel. A hero of the Forgotten War. Led the final charge against Velith before the orchard swallowed him." Cale looked down at his hands. "Why me? Why anyone?" she muttered. "The soul fruit doesn't choose with kindness. It chooses with need." He shook his head. "I'm no hero. I'm a farmhand. I chase goats. I bit into the fruit and live." Her eyes narrowed. "Most don't. Their minds crack. Their bodies burn from the inside out. But you held me. That matters." Cale's mouth was dry. "So what now? I'm supposed to save the world?" "Not yet." She tossed the rest of the bread into the fire. "First, we find out why you were chosen, and what Aaron left unfinished." A gust of wind whistled through the willow limbs above. For a moment, Cale swore he heard it speak his name. Lyra stood, brushing ash from her coat. "Come on, there's someone we need to find. A lore keeper who remembers more than she should. If anyone can untangle your head, it's her." "Where?" She hesitated. "Dunmarrow." Cale frowned. "The ruins?" Lyra's look was grim. "Not all of it's ruined. Not everyone who lives there is dead." He rose to his feet. His legs still trembled, but something deeper than fear steadied him. "All right," he said. "Let's go." They stepped into the mist once more. Behind them, in the ashes of the fire, the faint outline of a handprint smoldered in the stone, larger than any man's, and too deep to have been made by flesh.
Changing max.
Chapter 5. The Road Beneath. The path to Dunmarrow was not marked on any map. What roads had once led there had long since sunk into the earth or been swallowed by moss and time. But Lyra knew the way, though she never once looked at a compass. They traveled through the hollows first, where the trees grew so tall their branches tangled like fingers clasped in prayer. Then down through the rain-slick ravines, where stone idols watched from beneath cloaks of ivy. Cale didn't ask what the idols were. He had a feeling he wouldn't like the answer. Dunmarrow was once a city of kings, Lyra said, as they paused to drink from a stream that ran clear but cold as iron. Before the orchard reached out, before the bone pact. "I thought it was just ruins," Cale said, teeth chattering. "Parts of it are. The rest, sunk. Caved in during the old collapse. But some survived. Some even stayed behind." Cale raised an eyebrow. "People live there?" Lyra gave a half-smile. "Depends on what you call people. They made camp in a half-buried watchtower, its top long sheared away by time or war. That night, Cale dreamed again, not of voices, but of stone corridors and a whisper like wind moving beneath bones. He woke with blood on his lip from biting it in his sleep. By the second day, the air had grown colder. Not winter cold, older than that. Like the land had never quite thawed from the last curse laid across it. "Stop!" Lyra said suddenly. Cale froze. "What is it?" She knelt, brushing moss aside. Beneath it lay a carved disc of black stone, no wider than a shield. A sigil was etched into it, an eye inside a circle, pierced by a downward blade. "The ward is still holding," she muttered. "Good. A ward against what?" She looked up. "Against what waits below. Come." They followed a crumbling stair, half buried beneath hanging roots, into the dark. At first, Cale thought it was a tomb, but as the last of the light faded behind them, he saw the faintest glimmer ahead. Lanterns, maybe, or phosphor moss, glowing a sickly blue along walls that had once been grand. "Welcome," Lyra said quietly, "to Dunmarrow." Cale stepped forward. Beneath his feet, the floor shifted, ancient dust giving way to stone tiles engraved with names. Names long lost, names waiting to be spoken again. And far below, in a vault yet untouched by time or ruin, a second soul fruit bud unfurled its petals, drawn to the scent of waking memory. The tunnel widened. Cale followed Lyra into a vast chamber where the ceiling had partially collapsed, revealing fractured beams and the tangled bones of an old chapel roof. A broken mosaic covered the floor, half submerged in shallow water. Its design might once have shown a sunburst or a tree. Now it was nothing but jagged light and stone. The silence pressed on him, thick as fog. It wasn't the silence of an abandoned place. It was listening. "Stay close," Lyra whispered. Their footsteps echoed as they moved between toppled statues and vine-choked pillars. Here and there, torch brackets had been lit, though by whom, Cale couldn't guess. The light flickered eerily across old murals on the walls. They showed figures in long robes feeding fruit to kneeling crowds. Faces were smeared away, either by time or intention. "Why is this place still standing?" he asked, voice hushed. "It was built on the marrow of the world," she said, "carved into the root bed. Things that deep don't die easy." As they crossed into what might once have been a sanctuary, Cale felt the weight of the air shift. Not colder, heavier, denser. The hairs on his arms lifted, and then he saw her. A figure sat atop the broken altar, draped in dark cloth that shimmered like moth wings. She looked neither young nor old, neither living nor dead. Her eyes were hidden behind a mask of pale wood, carved in the shape of a weeping face. "I thought you were dead," Lyra said, bowing her head slightly. "I often am," came the dry reply. The woman's voice was soft, but it echoed in Cale's chest, like a memory he hadn't lived. The masked figure rose slowly, the sound of her motion like dry reeds brushing the windless air.
5 kills.
"I bring the boy," Lyra said. "He's touched by the soul, chosen by Vey." The masked woman tilted her head, regarding Kyle. "I know. I smelled the bloom. He walks with too many names in him." Cale took a step back. "Who? What? Are you?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she removed the mask. Her face was lined like bark, eyes like old sap, glowing faintly from within. "I am the lore keeper," she said. "The last one left. And if you wish to survive what's coming, boy, you will sit, and you will remember." Cale looked to Lyra. She nodded once. So he sat. And the lore keeper laid her hand upon his forehead. The world dissolved.
armor.
Strike inbound. Shot missed. No joint. An enemy squad is hunting you. Stay sharp. Gas is closing in. Relocating safe zone.
Inserting armor. The enemy is no longer tracking you. Last mag.
You're being tracked by an enemy.
Another kill.